In this video, I want to show you a strategy for multiplying more complicated numbers that I probably haven't memorized, by doing what we call decomposing the numbers, which means breaking them down into separate pieces. So here I have a multiplication equation, 12 times 22. Probably not something that I have memorized from memorizing the multiplication table. I'm going to have to figure this out. One of the ways I can do it mentally, and you want to use this mostly as a mental strategy or something that speeds up your multiplication so you don't have to just write it down, is I'm going to break one of these two numbers into two separate pieces. I think in this case I'll break the 12 into two separate pieces. So what I'll do is I'll get two separate multiplication equations. Over here I'll multiply 10 times 22, and over here I'll multiply 2 times 22. Now hopefully this is going to make it easier for me. As you can see, I've taken the 10 and the 2 from the 12 and separated them, but it still equals 12, 10 plus 2. Hopefully 10 times 22 is going to be easier for me because I know that's just 22 tens. So the answer is going to be 220. And over here, hopefully the 2 times 22 is going to be easy for me because anytime I'm multiplying by 2, I know I'm just doubling, so it's going to be 44. Now here's the trick that I really need to make sure I pay attention to, which is a lot of times people forget that since I had the number 12 together to start with, I've got to put these numbers back together as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish up by saying 220 plus 44, and my answer is going to be 264. Okay, now like I said, this is mainly a mental math strategy, meaning I want to be able to do it in my head. If it doesn't make it easier for me, there's not much point in doing it. I can use this with even bigger and more complex numbers, depending on the situation. So here I've got 276 multiplied by 3. That's a fairly large number, right? Not something I'm going to have memorized. But what I can do is I can break it down by its place value. In this number I've got hundreds, tens, and ones. So instead of just trying to solve it all in one go, I can look at it this way. I can say that I've got 200 times 3. I've got 70 times 3. And I've got 6 times 3. And I can solve these questions fairly easily just by using the base number facts. 2 times 3 is 6, but it's 200, so my answer is 600. 70 times 3 is 210, 21, but 21 tens. And 6 multiplied by 3 is 18. Now all I have to do, like the other question, is take these numbers and add them up one more time to make sure I've got them all. So I've got 8 in the ones column, 2 in the tens column, 8 in the hundreds column. 828. Once again, you can see I was able to take a fairly complicated number, break it down into easy pieces, and make this a pretty quick and easy math equation for me to solve, even just in my head.